Patrick is in court to claim £2,650, owed on a car he sold to a friend. Defendant Connor says he traded the car in due to a fault with the engine, and as he is now paying for a new vehicle, he should be given more time.
Now, have I got Patrick here?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, it's very clear. And Connor, yes?
Yes, Judge.
Now, the two of you were friends for some years because you met in college, didn't you, Connor?
Yes, Judge.
And the both of you did something incredibly admirable and thoroughly impressive. What was that, Connor?
Joined the army.
You did. And in fact, it's right to say, Patrick, you joined in August, and then 1 month later, Connor, you followed.
Yes, Judge.
I'm not going to ask about your service record. Safe to say that it's a duty of everybody that meets brave young men like you to say thank you, both of you, for your bravery and for your service. That doesn't mean, just because you sign up to the army, that you make sensible choices all the time. Correct, Patrick?
Yes, Judge.
Correct, Connor?
Yes, Judge.
Now, although you were very good friends, the reality is you spent some time apart from each other, but it seems to me, Connor, that one of the important things, you would agree with me, with a good friendship is trust. And you'd agree with me that you are somebody that would want to be held as a trustworthy person.
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge.
Very good. I'm going to put it down in big. Patrick, you'd also agree that's very important.
Yes, Judge.
And so, as far as you're concerned, in pursuing this matter, this case is especially disappointing, to say the very least. Am I right?
Yes, Judge.
Now, what happened was that in May 2014, you bought a new car, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Was it a terribly beautiful car?
It was indeed, sir.
What sort of car was it?
It was a Ford Fiesta 2000 template, Judge.
Now, it was 4 years old, but it's called something that, as far as I can gather, I know very little about cars, I should confess, sounds to me like some sort of South American virus. What's it called, a Fiesta what?
Fiesta Z-Tech.
Z-Tech?
Yeah.
Is that like Zika? Why did you want this particular car?
Well, it was a car I was looking at the time. It was a very attractive car.
Was it that it went very fast?
Yes, Judge.
Let's have a look at it. And what was it about having a particularly big car that you thought was important to you?
Confidence, quite a lot, Judge.
Yes, well, I hear that from certain gentlemen, you know. When they're concerned about one thing, they go and buy a big car. Now, you weren't earning a lot of money, correct?
A reasonable amount for my age, Judge.
You're absolutely right, but by no stretch of the imagination, especially given the service that you were providing our country, were you making a lot of money, right? Or compared to other people, this represented a huge amount of money to you. How did you afford this car? What did you do?
Well,
Wait a second, I need a moment. Now, this is a little photo narrative, a little diary of your experience with the car. Oh, I didn't know this was coming. So you pick it up, and that says my what? My bay.
Bay, yes, sir.
What's bay?
Before anyone else, Judge.
My before anyone else?
Yeah.
It's sort of saying you admire somebody. So I would say, gosh, I really admire Michelle and her capacity to read papers and Peter's capacity to stand, say nothing and look mildly threatening. Peter, you are my bae. Is that how you would use bae in a sentence?
Probably not, Judge.
Well, help me use it in a sentence. Would you say, Connor, you're my bae?
No, Judge.
Well, in what context would you use it?
More of a close relationship or a close bond.
So I might say, gosh, I love my mother and my grandmother is my bae.
You probably could, Judge, yes. Just depends what way you take it, Judge.
Might people get confused if
Yes,
I
Judge.
said my grandmother is my bae?
Yes, Judge.
Might they point me in the way of a psychiatrist? In other words, I understand now. You're saying that was your beloved. Now, joking apart, for the purposes of your proceedings, that's terribly important because there was an emotional connection to this car. It represented a huge personal investment on your part. Did you know that, Connor?
Yes, Judge.
I'm confident you did. You're honest in your reply, because what you must have known is this. Patrick, how did you afford to pay for your bay?
I got to lend off the money from my granddad, Judge.
Your extraordinary granddad, who I'm entirely certain is very proud of you, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Rightly so. How much did he lend you?
The total amount was over 7,000, Judge.
Now, out of interest, why not go to a finance company?
Because he didn't want me basically taking out the money, taking out the car on finance and paying stupid amount of interest.
Understood. He lent you the money interest-free. That money, did it also include the value of insurance as well?
Yes, it did, Judge.
Did you sign an agreement with your grandfather?
No, I didn't, Judge.
Don't worry, he's not here suing you, and there was no problem with it. In fact, it's right to say that he lent you the money and you started making those repayments, correct?
Yes, that's right, Judge.
Very, very good. As you were driving for a short period of time, you actually hadn't passed your driving test. You did so a month later, correct?
Yeah, that's right, Judge.
Was that your first driving test?
It was actually my third.
Oh, dear.
Judge.
Well, never mind, you eventually passed. I know how your test examiner felt. Mine wrote me a strongly worded letter after the first one. Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.